Candace ain't safe no more, apparently. Now, listen here, people. Listen. We've talked about this lawsuit. We've talked about the possibilities. We've talked about the fallacies, the falsehoods, the reality, all of it. We're not the only ones talking about it now. I mean, even her people are throwing her under the bus. And I mean, people that lean more left than anything else. People, because, that is where she's at now. And we've said for a while that Candace is what you call a free agent. Candace be a free agent, y'all. If somebody pay her enough, she'll pull that line. Let's just be honest. Candace ain't one of those people so far that we can say is an honest individual. She has not been for a while. The first chinks in the armor was in 2022 when we talked to you about the Super Bowl. After going on this tirade, after going from being left to going to right, and then talking about hip hop music, but then the real Candace showed up saying this is hip hop excellence, and she never backed down from it. And since that point, things have just been continually slipping slowly more to the other side. Well, this latest stunt with the whole Bridget's a man kind of thing is looks more and more like the hot water is becoming boiling at this point. And so we're going to listen to this one's commentary about this particular incident. The problem we might encounter is Candace might have bitten off more than she can chew in this round. So let's hear what she's got to say, shall we?
I came across this morning, and now this video clip that I also came across this morning, now that video clip makes sense.
Candace still ain't learned her lesson. Candace is still out here talking shit. This lady gonna lose everything. I'm wondering Candace's husband and her still together.
This lawsuit, we got an estimate this weekend from a legal team. It is going to cost us millions. I don't have that money. Yeah. I really don't.
Her husband's net worth, by the way, is $180-something million. That's his net worth. So he has the money. Now, to whether or not he gonna give the money to his wife for something she run her mouth about, he might be looking at her, the reason why she can say she don't have that kind of money. He might look at it, whoa. That's my $180 million. You got to figure this part out. Now, you said it, not me. This is on you. Figure your money out. Now, that $5 million is not including whatever the Macrons might be getting, again, in addition to as compensation for what they've been through. That's just basic fees based on what they know in terms of litigation up through discovery, all of that, $5 million. You see, when we say probably she hadn't counted the cost because she thought what she had was enough.
Estimate that we got, and I want to be clear, this is if it goes all the way through. So they said, like, from start to finish, if they don't drop this at some point, blah, 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 here's how much it's going to cost you just to get through deposition phase, how much it's going to cost you to go all the way through. And they are estimating $5 million. It's a lot of money. And we do not have that money just laying around.
I see the $5 million right at the top there. Just sell that Malibu estate. You got it. But you know what? No, better yet. Sell the Austin one. That's $7 million. I have give you a little extra in case. Unless, of course, the Macrons decide to get all of that instead, and you have no reason to have to worry about getting it because you just have to sell it off anyway. Now, remember when she was worried about the whole idea of people investigating her on behalf of the Macrons and who they got to investigate her? The kinds of people, the intelligence agencies that were looking into her. I don't know why she thought that a foreign dignitary would not have that kind of. Listen. Corey and I were talking. He's convinced that I'm with him on this. But here's the thing. You went after not just any foreign dignitary. We're talking about high level, presidential level dignitary. That's what you went after. Spouse of that person. You didn't anticipate that maybe this man really, really, really loves his wife and was like, oh, you want to play this game with my wife, huh? Bet. Let's do it, Candy. Let's play your game. Let's play your game. You want to mess like that? Fine. I'm going to wipe you out of house and home for your loud, rambunctious language. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to hire my best people. I'm going to look into every aspect of your life. I'm going to investigate your money, your history, all of it. In fact, we don't even know if you're still with your hubby. I mean, that's a speculative thought right there. I mean, that might be why you don't have the $5 million just laying around, considering his man has money. Maybe he doesn't want to give you the money because y'all not together like that. Just a thought.
They're going to take it all.
That was funny. They're going to take it out.
So I thought we could actually sell some t-shirts. I just picture people wearing this like at the grocery store, like walking by each other, and like, oh, we know what it means, like hashtag free Emmanuel. It's like subtle enough. I really like this.
Now, hear me out. I don't want to be the name caller. I don't. But you have to be a special kind of crazy or slow to do this in the middle of a lawsuit about this. I don't care how subtle you think you are, Candace. This is insane. The very thing that you're complaining about, the 5 million being too much, you gonna take the audacity you got and make a t-shirt about it? Are you mentally all there? I can't even blame postpartum for this one. You got to be not thinking straight. Something is definitely wrong with you. Something is wrong with you, Candace. Like mad wrong with you. You need help. You need some like instantaneous help right now.
Free Emmanuel, you're going to see somebody working and be like, we know what's up. We know what's going on in France. Somebody rescue.
Is that how you're trying to make the 5 million by selling hats? It's not going to help you, Okay.
Emmanuel Macron. I'm not kidding. The estimate is millions.
Let's be clear. If Candace Owens sells those t-shirts, whatever money she makes from those t-shirts, it will go to Brigitte Macron.
I agree.
Oh yeah, Candace Owens, you say you don't have that type of money lying around. It's going to cost about $5 million, baby. I think it's going to cost y'all a little bit more. And I guarantee you that one of their main goals is to deplete you of all of the millions of dollars that you and your husband have.
I agree. This could go real bad for her, especially if what she is saying is debunked. Now, remember this. The onus and the amount of proof that has to be given is not very high. The burden isn't very high. Now, hear me out. If it is a defamation and the proof that is brought forward that says this is a woman, and they can manufacture whatever they want to call it, fabricate, fake, if they want to bring you information that says, see, here is a picture that you said you wanted, we win. That is all they have to do. They're under no obligation to do anything more than that. They've given a letter. In fact, they've taken all the steps to set this up for Candace's failure, not for her success. Y'all might be on Candace's side now. But if this thing goes to where it's more than likely going to go, you can say goodbye to Candace Owens' platform right now. She might have to make a whole new life for herself. Because I highly doubt that they're just going to stop at give us 50 million, give us 10 million. That they want it all. They want the influence gone. They want the peddling stopped. Just watch.
You see, before Brigitte filed this lawsuit, she did her homework. As part of the legal process, the couple hired investigators from Nardello and Company, a top corporate intelligence firm. In its report, Nardello and Company described Owens's links to the far right in France, as well as her connections to populist figures in both the UK and the US, along with her online interactions with a Russian nationalist.
Now, hear me out. This isn't where the person on the screen is going to go, but this is where we're going to go. She has since cut ties with current President Trump. Listen carefully to this. She has cut ties with him. The current running idea is that Trump is in bed with Russia. However, if that were the case, then the Russian that she's working with wouldn't have been working with her if she's cutting ties and talking ill about their person. Now, my idea is that this is eventually going to be something that the US can now investigate. If she is one of those people that helped in pushing the propaganda about the Russian connection, she could be looking at not only the Macrons getting her, but the US government going after her too. You see where this could go? This could get ugly for her. Imagine the petty dude named Mr. Trump decide, oh, you going after this? This is what you're going to do. This is who you're working with. This is against America's interest. You are working with people who we won't work with over things that we are at odds with. Are you a plant? Should we be investigating you and shut you down in the meantime where you cannot be online at all? So now Macron's going after the money and the US going after your influence. You sure you want this fight, Candace? All right.
Because all roads lead back to Russia. They also reportedly outlined her shift from a self-identifying liberal in her early career to a conservative, as well as her support for Donald Trump that she recently dropped.
The grift. And we said this years ago. We said that she will go to where the money is most flowing. Remember when she jumped ship and then she went to work with the Daily Wire, and then she jumped from the Daily Wire to go on her own? Wherever the money went, she went. She was pro-Israel. Now she's anti-Israel. She went to where the money was. Rage bait, click bait, you name it. She goes where funds are readily available, and she will take a viewpoint based on where the most influence will come from. We've been saying that for a while. Whatever happened to all our conversations about Black America? Where did that go? Just stopped happening? Ever since her adoption of hip hop music, she stopped talking about the damage it does to Black America. You realize that? That's gone from her repertoire now.
Now, we've talked about this on my page when we've talked about Candace Owens in the past, that she started her whole social media spiel. She started out
on the left
as a liberal, and she was going after Donald Trump.
Yep.
But somewhere along the line, she ended up meeting with, I believe it was the Purdue guy, and she found it to be more lucrative to be Black MAGA than a liberal. And so hence her switch.
Really, what happened is she started to talk to people like Charlie Kirk and people at PragerU, and a lot of them that were the extreme side of it, right? Now, when that started to happen, she realized, wait a minute, there's more money on that side of things. So what did she do? Jump ship. And she jumped ship very, very smoothly. In fact, her change started to happen a little bit before she met those people, if you keep track of her actual history. She tested the waters quite a bit before she made the switch. But once she made the switch, all of a sudden, she popped out of really nowhere to make her real impact. And when she jumped in, she had a whole lot of big names behind her all of a sudden. Did you guys remember this? She came from nothing to everything. And then all of a sudden, Candace is this massive blow up. Now, just if her connection to this so-called Russian person is what catapulted her all the way to the top, it would make a lot of sense why everything kept revolving and going back and forth and oscillating to and from the left, to and from the right, to and from the left, to and from the right. It was all based on algorithmic phases. If one thing was making money, join it. If it wasn't making money, leave it. Go back and watch her track record. We're not lying.
To Black MAGA. Let's move on. According to the newspaper, the investigators were tasked with documenting Owens' public statements and detailing her background. Lawyers often tasked investigative firms with digging up information on people they intend to sue on their client's behalf. The Macron's lawyer, Tom Clare, told the Financial Times that their decision to sue came from their desire to understand why a conservative American podcaster has taken such an interest in them. Well, she's connected to the far right over in the UK, and she's connected to a Russian nationalist.
Now, here's where the connection I think she's trying to go to, but that's not the way Candace has been going. If the far right for the Macron side and the Russian nationalists are linked indeed to anything to do with Trump, it would be a complete opposite to track them because Candace is now against Trump. You understand? So they're not working in cohorts right now with any of them. So what it could be is this. Candace is again playing both sides against the middle. She's going to where the money is. The far right in France are working with her to bring down Macron. Money. The Russians are working to try and bring down Trump. Money. Either way, she wins. The problem is she did not expect for the Macrons to step up and say, we ain't playing this game. We're going to expose your grift. We're going to not just come after you for the money. We're going to destroy your entire narrative and how you come by information. We are going to destroy your entire platform with our investigation.
Moving on. He added that the research provided by Nardello and Company would allow the Delaware jury to be informed of the context in which Owens made her claims. But Owens hit back following the revelation that the Macrons had hired a top investigations firm on the case. Quote, Brigitte Macron has once again been caught, and between lawyers, international PR teams, plus investigators, the couple is spending real money to quiet the paranoia of her past. And baby Candace, they gonna get all of your money.
They will. If they go through it, what they're looking for, she in some deep trouble. Here's the thing. Running with a narrative based on what someone says because they're the enemy can get you in some deep waters, okay? And this is the problem with trying to get and remain too relevant with too little. Okay, this is a big problem. You come across as an investigator, you do all your research, and people are known to you as, Candace does her homework and she always comes with receipts and blah, blah, blah. So she has a record of that mostly. But then you come with this off the wall story based on someone else's statement in a foreign country. You are now banking on their information being something, one, either true and not coming out of a hate for the person they're talking about. Now, you may not have been calculating this idea that some dignitary will be coming after poor little you for making an opinion on YouTube because of your First Amendment right. But your First Amendment right goes only so far, especially when it comes to people and what reputation you're trying to destroy. Now, as for defamation, it varies because it depends on the damage you do to the person. A small person walking around rural Texas or something ain't gonna matter to them. However, a foreign dignitary to this level, where you're implicating the entire government covering up a transsexual as the wife or / husband of the current president, lady, you have stepped way out into the ocean where all the big sharks play. Hear me out. If you really think they are that capable of doing all that, you don't think they're capable of showing you up? You're above your pay grade on this one.
They're going to get all of your money to replace the money that they're spending to get your ass. Well, Candace Owens goes on to say exactly how much was spent to determine that out of a total of 12,704 tweets, I twice retweeted a Russian philosopher. Baby, this is the information that they're sharing with us that they got on you. There's no telling what the information they got that they aren't telling.
They're holding on to till the court hearing. If they can share that, That is just what you call a damaging piece of information. That's all they're doing. That is a teaser. They're not going to put all their cards in. How did was it Kenny Rogers? You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. This is your portion where you know when to walk away or know when to run. But I'm afraid that portion might be gone for you. They're dumping what information they have enough to, one, discredit you, at least put some fear. It's working, because now you're talking about money. Before you were bragging, you're talking big and bold. Now you're talking money. They know what they're doing. Imagine what they got under wraps that they waiting to divulge during the court hearing.
About you.
Mm-mm-mm.
Or that out of hundreds of speaking events worldwide, I once spoke at a conference in Paris with far-right French politician Marianne Merchal. The news comes after Owens revealed last week that Donald Trump personally called her to ask her to stop pursuing her story, questioning the gender and identity of France's First Lady, Brigitte Macron.
Right there, that should tell you that he's not working with the far right, is he? So Candace is working independently right now of all her protections. Some of y'all might say, see that she's so brave. It'd be brave if it would be brave if she was right. The question is she? Since we don't know, because we don't know anything about the Macrons except what they've told us. And if they are capable of manufacturing information, they'll still be right. She's in trouble.
Now, I didn't know that, but she, I guess, went publicly and talked about how Donald Trump personally called her and asked her to squash this story.
Mm-hmm.
And she refused. Mm-hmm. But I did see the video clips where she tried to chastise Donald Trump and J.D. Vance for not sticking up for her First Amendment rights.
They don't have to. Listen, you don't stand up for other people's First Amendment right. In fact, Candace, I've noticed a trend, Candace, that you go after people's First Amendment right when it goes against your ideas. Yeah. Ain't that weird? That's crazy. How does shoe feel? How does that shoe feel right now? Don't forget, hey, you're the one that went shopping. You're the one that bought the shoe. It's a size too small. Now you got to wear it. I'm just saying. Okay.
Baby, they don't have nothing to do with you.
Nope.
And this lawsuit between you and Brigitte Macron.
No, they don't. Now, he was doing his person a favor. He did Macron a favor by asking you. He did his part. I am sure Emmanuel said, Mr. Trump, I would like for you to speak to your friend. You say, okay, I'll tell her. I'll talk to her. I'm the best guy. I'll talk to her. She won't listen. I talked to her. She's being stubborn. She won't listen. Do what you got to do, Emmanuel. I've done my part. Tried to tell her. She wouldn't listen. Now you've got to deal with her. Hey, look, it'd be one thing if you were in the man's corner, but you done gone and railroaded that altogether. Now you're expecting him to go to bat for you? You know the man petty. Come, Candace. You know Trump is one of the most petty human beings on the face of this earth. You think he gonna have your back after what you done said about? No.
You were free to spew this nonsense, Candace Owens. You haven't been arrested. You have not been put in jail for spewing these lies about Brigitte Macron. Yeah. But there are consequences to you spewing lies about Brigitte Macron. She can sue you for spewing those lies. Girl, for as smart as you are, you prove to me every day how dumb you are.
See, if Candace had done this is what people are alleging. That'd be one thing. This is the information I got, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but this is what they're saying, and we have to cover it. That'd be one thing. You came out full-throated and says 100% provable that it is a man. You said provable, documented, factually a man. And you had proof. Okay.
What do you want Donald Trump to do? You spewed lies on the internet. The government didn't come after you. The United States government didn't come after you. But the Macrons are coming after you for spewing those lies. And they have every right to do so.
And not only right, they got the money. They got an entire government worth of resources. Now, remember, they can indeed use the government's resources because you're accusing the head of the government about this. And you accuse the government of covering it up. So now you've not only roped the people, you have roped the government of France in on this. I think you even mentioned FBI and CIA at some point too. You looking to get completely wiped off of social media for this. Especially if you get proven wrong. Okay, let's go down a rabbit hole real quick. Just real quick. Let's say you are right, Candace, that the government of France and the United States are behind the hiding of this information of a transsexual in France. You ask them to prove to you that this is not true. Show us something. And they were able to manufacture, thanks to AI, all the things you said you wanted. They can give you pictures of her pregnant with her brother, records, blood type, all of it, because the government can manufacture that. What you gonna do then? What you gonna do then? You got not a leg to stand on because you asked for that information. You got it. Now they are owed money for lying on them. And you making merch. Look, woman, when I say you might be done, you might be done.
Mm-hmm. So that's why she's now budgeting out how much it's going to cost her with this lawsuit. Now, I'm no attorney, right? I'm no attorney, but $5 million, the $5 million she came up with, the cost, yeah, that seems on the low end.
Very.
And I hope whatever they're suing you for, I hope they get every red cent and then some. Every red cent.
Now, hear me out. It's not even a hope for us to do that. I don't think it's a hope. I think she's calculating to try and settle. Here's the problem. Candace has a problem on her hand. It's a big one. Even if she's trying to set the framework for settling, she's still doubling down while setting that framework. She needs to pick a struggle. Making that merchandise does not seem to suggest a settling, but you tallying up your money to get sympathy from your people might suggest you're tallying for a settling, or you're trying to get your followers to pay your bill, which is sick. And you know what? Just like Umar, you're going to get it. You're going to have some of these people that love you so much to your form. Look, wait, how many? I got to double check something. Candy, let me see something. Candace Owens. What kind of following you got? You got 4.5 million subscribers. You're going to get that money. If you ask your subscribership right now to pay you $5, only half of them would have to do it. And you'd have that money. That's crazy. And you know what? They're going to pay. And you're going to continue to grip. But you know what? Emmanuel ain't going to stop there. They might go after you for everything you got. Take your platform from you. Part of the agreement is you have to get off social media. Part of the other part of the agreement is you can't talk anything about France no more. Part of the agreement is that you can't have a voice about foreign things to do with France. I mean, obviously, they can't touch a whole lot with your First Amendment. But by the time they're done with you, you won't have funds to have a First Amendment usage. Especially now, if they find things where you are dealing with foreign agencies to the demise of America when it comes to certain entities that we work with, whether people agree with the Israel thing or not, if the government's working with them and you might be actively working against that, you know, they're already arresting people for that, right? Okay. trying to help you out, Candy. Maybe you don't think that far down the road. That's why we're here. If you continue this battle and Macron feels like this has to be a lesson planted into the soil and a big oak tree grown from it, you might be that seed. They're going to have to bury you to grow that tree. Okay. Just saying. Your whole career might be done after this one. Anyway, your thoughts on this one, people? You let me know what you think. If you start counting money, usually means that you're fearful. But then again, who knows? We'll see where the court case goes. We look forward to hearing your commentary on this one.